State University, who is the National Research Director for the TIM study in the United States. Now, all levels, local level, state level, certainly on a national level, to get this great country moving in a unified way to support education. A national leader rallies the American people behind our children. You see, America must realize that this president believes in the children of this country, and this president is willing to fight for them and for their education.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me say, first of all, I'm glad to be here for American education. Today we announced the new results from the Third International Mathematics and Science Study for fourth graders, showing that America's fourth graders are performing above the national average in math and science. In fact, in science they are doing very well indeed. According to this report just issued today, our fourth graders rank second in the world in the Third International Math and Science Test, just behind Korea. We are making great strides. We've built a solid foundation in our national effort to establish standards of excellence. We have a goal that we should be first in the world in math and science because we have a more diverse population, we have more poor children, we don't have uniformity of. So I remember looking at the person who made the argument. It was a perfectly sane and rational argument. I said, well, what do you want me to say? We're going to be third in the world in math and science? That's our goal. We'll be fourth, we'll be eighth. So again, I want to say I thank the educators who are here. And I think that if you look at where we were, just in 1991, there was a test similar to the TIMSS test in which our fourth graders were below average in math, above average in science, but nowhere near where they are today. So this shows you what can happen in a few short years if people are working together to make sure we meet the goal, class goals. Now, we also have to remember that we've got a long way to go. Last November, when Secretary Riley and Commissioner Forgione released the first results from the 8th grade test, that is why I have asked us to begin not just participating in the TIMSS test with a few thousand of our students, but to voluntarily embrace, along with the National Department of Defense schools, have adopted this plan of embracing national standards and agreeing to participate in the testing program. I'm pleased to announce that as the school year comes to a close, I want to thank the many thousands of parents and teachers, principals, who have done the hard work necessary to achieve these positive results. They have held us over and over and over in the education of our young people, as well as our adults who need more access to education. So let me just say, before I go on to make one or two more points, there are a lot of people who never believed, well, nowhere near where we need to be in these other areas, and all this fourth grade test does is to show us that we can be the best in the world if we simply believe it and then organize ourselves to achieve anybody. We're trying to lift the children of this country up, and the TIMSS test proves that they will lift themselves up if we who are adults and in charge of their future do what we ought to do to give them a chance to do it. And I hope all of you will take that message out across the country now. Let me finally say this plan, and I believe that in its present form, it does not meet the tests that I would hold myself to. One, being faithful to the budget agreement. Second, having a tax cut that will grow the economy. Third, having a tax cut that is fair to middle-class families. And fourth, having a tax cut that genuinely. Second, it shortchanges those in the workforce who want to gain new skills and those who want to go on to community colleges. Those who go to less expensive schools like community colleges would have the Hope Scholarship I proposed, specifically agreed to in the budget agreement, cut in half by the House plan. Third, the plan falls short for working families in other ways. I favor a $500 per child tax credit earned. Moreover, and unbelievably to me, they would reduce tax benefits to working families where both the father and the mother are working and paying for child care and getting some credit for that, they wanted to deduct the child tax credit from the credit people already get to pay for child care. Apparently designed to make it more difficult for people who are parents to work outside the home. I think most working families will tell you it's hard enough already. What we'd like is a little help raising our children. I do not believe we should discriminate against parents who are working and raising their children in the availability of the children's tax credit. In short, the tax plan cuts in half the tax cuts for those who goes to community college. To set aside the political wish list, we can negotiate on all this later, and instead just send me a straightforward disaster relief bill. Again, I believe if this were a question, do the right thing and have your political arguments later. So as we celebrate today, world at the 4th grade level, at the 8th grade level, at the 12th grade level, our 4th graders have proved that we can do it. We dare not let them and the other children of this country down. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, those flood victims